Yeah, no, you're
Yeah,
absolutely right. Again, Edie wins the Wooden Award. That not a surprise. He is one of the best. Was one of the best college basketball players in the country.
he was the best college basketball player. He
Can't
was the best.
can't teach size. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Um, they already. So the question is do they three-peat?
I mean, it's gonna be tough because I have a feeling Kentucky is gonna. I think Kentucky's gonna interview Hurley.
No. So
Um.
it looks like Kentucky is gonna go with the coach out of Baylor.
Oh, Scott Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds about right. Or Billy Donovan.
Donovan, I mean, it depends on. You know what? You say that, yeah. I mean, the way the Bulls treated him last night, by blowing out by missing a fucking rim and then blowing out his fucking knee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, right now odds came out for way too early in the season, and Kentucky obviously is 10-1 to win the whole thing. Your Tar Heels are 20, and yeah, our Arizona's 15. Houston, which is bringing back everybody, is 15. That's an interesting bet.
Who? Houston?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. They're
they're
kind of in the same category as Gonzaga, where they have good regular seasons but can't put it together. In the tournament, I mean, look, they've been a one seed the last 2 years and have lost in a Sweet 16.
it always seems like they get a weird injury too halfway through.
Yeah, because I mean, look, if that guard doesn't hurt his ankle, they beat Duke. Just call it what it is. That's why, honestly, I needed North Carolina State to do the work of the Lord that day, and damn it, they did it.
Okay, John, what are you showing us?
All right, on the thing, I saw this. Somebody sent me this. A friend of mine sent me this who's a Jet fan. Now, these are a bunch of guys that are been talked about that the Jets are going to look at before the draft. And I wanted to get Christian's take on these guys because I don't know if they'd be impactful, if they'd be, are they worth the shot? I don't know a lot about them. That's why, Christian, you're more of the expert, and you're the king of this. So this is why I'm asking your opinion
Uh,
on these players.
Where'd you send it? On
uh,
Skype?
I sent
yeah,
it
it's
on
on
Skype.
Skype. I was gonna say,
Let me see. God, why can't I ever find these Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm in it. Let's see. Um, you
I
got
can.
names for any of these guys?
I'll pull it. Hold on. Let me pull up the names. I'll go back to where I saw them. Hold on.
don't worry, Christian. You might not know any of these guys. They're all fucking. They're all group of five schools.
Well,
So
one of
Um,
them I recognize already.
one's LSU. So
No, and the Penn State guy I recognize.
let's see. Let me see if I
oh
can pull
yeah,
up. Let me see if I can pull up the names. Hold on. One of them, the one with the number 11, the red is Makari Corley, wide
Okay.
receiver. The number 8 kid is wide receiver Malik
Malik Neighbors.
Neighbors.
Yeah.
neighbors.
Number
Neighbors will be gone by the time it gets to the Jets.
number 40 is Chop Robinson.
Yup. From Penn State.
Uh,
Yep.
the Colorado State guy is Dohamid Kamara, and the quarterback is Stanford quarterback Michael Hires.
Yeah.
Um,
And
you
there was another
know,
one I didn't send it to. It was quarterback Jordan Travis.
Now that's the motherfucker I want.
yeah, but
And then there
I
was
think
one other name is USC wide receiver Brendan Rice.
that's Jerry Rice's son.
Yeah, that's Jerry Rice's son.
All right, but the ones I sent you are. Do you see any of them landing with the Jets? And if any of them do land with the Jets, would any of them be an impact player?
I mean, Malik Neighbors, if he were to drop, yeah, because the Jets need like the biggest question mark right now surrounding the Jets is their offense because just look at it like this, John. And this is me in no way, shape, or form bashing the Jets. These are just the facts, right? Like with the Jets, they come in with a lot of question marks because one, your offensive line's been very inconsistent, right?
Mm, correct.
Two, you have a quarterback that's coming back, 40 years old, off a major injury. He's not younger, he's older now. And he hasn't played in a competitive football game since the end of the 2022 season.
Okay.
So he's going to be rusty early on. And I'm just kind of sensing things amongst a lot of Jets fans now that I'm back out this way. You know, remember around this time last year, Jet fans were ecstatic about this. And, to to East Rutherford. And now I don't feel I don't sense that same type of optimism with the Jets like I did prior to the year going into training camp. And then look, Ronnie and I called that game last year, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
you know, when he went down, everything was kind of deflated. But my thing about the Jets is this: they're in a competitive conference, and remember, they're in a conference with the defending Super Bowl champs who just repeated.
Hmm.
Baltimore is better than the Jets. Miami is better
90
than the
seconds.
Jets. Buffalo's better than the Jets. Houston is going to be good this year. The Chargers are going to be good. The Bengals are going to be good with a healthy Joe Burrow. Yeah, I can see a guy like a Chop Robinson having an impact. I think he's the type of guy that Robert Saleh likes because he is a former defensive coordinator, and you saw what he was able to do with Eric Armstead and Nick Bosa. He turned them into the best pass
60
rushing duo
seconds.
in the National Football League. Chop has, no pun intended, very choppy and violent hands. He's quick to the ball, and he just knows how to pursue the ball. He can get after the quarterback. He can stop the run, and he's very nimble yet smooth on his feet. And I think he would be good with the Jets, but there's a possibility. He's definitely a first rounder, but I don't know if he's top 10 because there are some other guys I put ahead of him, like a guy like a Jared Verse, but I think he's gonna be gone by the time the Jets pick. Um, um, Dallas Turner, he played for Alabama last year for Nick Saban. Um,
10 seconds.
he is probably gonna be gone more than likely, but you never know if Chop doesn't get selected in the first round. There's always the next day, the second round of the draft, because guys who are expected to be selected in the first round sometimes don't even hear their name called on the first day.
No, well, the
Right.
Jets don't have a second round pick this year.
Yeah, because that goes to Green Bay.
It was the Green Bay. Yep. I will tell you right now, like me and you have talked about this. I think the Jets would probably, if they're not going to get a lineman, they're going to get someone like Brock Bauer.
I could see it. I
If
definitely
in reality, if Bauer is there or Joe Alt is there, I'm taking Joe Alt.
Joe Alt won't be there.
No, but I'm saying if that's my pick, I'm taking Alt because Alt's a fucking Hall of Famer. It's
Yeah. Oh, Ronnie, I'm gonna do another episode of Monday Evening Quarterback the week of the draft. You in?
yeah. When are you planning on doing that?
You want to do it that Monday, the week of the draft, like we did last year?
Yeah, and then Thursday I'm probably gonna do a draft show.
Yeah, I'll try to stop by for that.
Okay. But John, the thing is though is like the one thing that is going to be that no one picks up on is this year's draft is very heavy on offensive linemen and wide receivers, which are the two biggest keys the Jets need. So they can wait until the fourth round, the third and fourth round, and there's still going to be plethora of guys that they can just get.
I know, but I just happened to see, because like I said, a friend of mine who's a Jet fan sent me that going, look at, you might, don't be surprised to see a bunch of these guys.
There's not the Rams.
Oh, but still, when you say that name, you got to say it the right way.
Difference. The Chargers actually mean something out there. Not the Rams. Have to leave St. Louis and go out to L.A.
There you go.
I mean, you can get, like I said, it's heavy. This year, a lot of the top 100 players are linemen and wide receivers.
Yeah.
There's not.
Right.
This is a very weak defensive class.
Okay.
Now, the kid out of Florida State that you were talking about, that's the kid that I want to back up Rodgers.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah. He's the guy that
You talking Jared Verse?
No.
Jordan Travis?
Jordan Travis.
Yeah.
That's the guy I want, because he might make it to the third round, because no one's gonna touch him because of his broken leg.
I could also see the Jets potentially making a move for MPJ, Michael Penix Jr.
So they would have to. So with that, they would have to move up. They would have to get to the second round.
Right.
There was another guy that he just sent me. Who's Rome?
Rome Adun, love him.
Yes.
Listen, John, listen to me what I'm about to say.
Okay.
He's probably the second best wide receiver in this draft class. Like, he is coming off a year where I thought he was one of the 2 or 3 best wide receivers in college football last year. He's athletic. He knows how to track the ball. He catches everything. He moves well in space to free himself to get open, and he knows how to run every route. I mean, and he's coming off a team that just made the national championship.
So where do you see him? Do you see him going first round? Is he a first rounder?
Oh, he's top 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Jets would almost have to move up to get him. He might fall to them.
Like, the furthest I see him going is probably 9 to the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, because that was the last one I said. I just sent him. Are you sending me any more? He goes, no, that's all he had.
So I'm going to give you a name that the Jets can get in the third round as a wide receiver. The last name is going to sound familiar. And Christian, this is where having me going into the group of 5 schools you're going to love. Wide receiver out of Rice College. Luke McCaffrey.
Oh, Christian's brother?
Yep.
Yeah.
That is someone that the Jets should target. And
I can see it.
Oh, and please do, because him in the slot, that's dangerous to get past to hell. He has hands like his brother. That's terrifying to know that.
Mm-hmm.
And the 182nd round pick is what? 182 is fourth round? Christian?
Yeah, it's like 4th or 5th round, I think.
Jets should definitely think about that. Someone the Jets should definitely think about.
Right. I can see that.
Yeah. like I said, the skill that is in the wide receiver range is insane. I'm just looking at this Jordan. It's like going through. What do the Jets need? It's like every fucking wide receiver that's on this list. It's just holy crap. I haven't heard that name in a while. Tackle Brandon Coleman from TCU.
Yeah, that's a name I haven't heard in a while either.
Yeah, he's in the draft. I was gonna say that's a guy that can back up like the end of a draft in like a 6-7 round. Get him as a tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's John. There's a lot of guys that. There's a lot of good names in this draft that the Jets are sitting pretty.
What number are they picking at now?
They got 10th for the first round, and then I think they got a high 2 or a high 3.
When is the draft now?
2 weeks.
Date? No, give me a date so I can put it on my calendar so I can watch a date.
2 weeks from tomorrow. The 21st.
Oh, so it's right after I come.
25th. 25th.
Okay, so it's not going to be the weekend I'm away. Okay. But no, because I might actually watch that because the Jets, like you said, I know the Jets are in need of a lot of help. And I want them to have an impactful draft.
The thing is, though, is the one thing that I've been noticing, and Christian, I understand what you're saying, but it is clear as day the Jets have gone all in. Yes, it's, hey, we're signing a bunch of young guys, we're a bunch of old guys to 2-year contracts. And we have a quarterback that blew out his Achilles. But just don't be surprised if the Jets actually the Jets have a chance to win this division.
No, they don't.
Dude, from what I've been reading and what I've been hearing, the Bills are gonna take a step back again.
I don't think they are. To be honest with you, they're the best team in this division. Like, seriously, because New England's in a rebuild. The Dolphins to me are the biggest threat to Buffalo. The Jets, they have too many question marks. Remember, Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old, coming off an Achilles injury.
I understand.
Right?
I fully understand.
The offensive line is Swiss cheese. There's a lot of pressure on their defense to really carry this team. But the offense has to step up.
But the offensive line, so here's the thing. The biggest question for the offensive line is, yes, if they stay healthy. And I'm not even talking about left tackle. All right, fine. You're going to need another left tackle to cover that up because, God forbid, he's not staying healthy all year.
And remember, they just signed Mike Williams, and he can't stay healthy. So, across the board, there's some uncertainty.
But you got to remember. Elijah Vera Tucker is still coming back. Yes, he's been hurt twice, but he is back. So we have the question mark on him. Yes, but it's still better. It's still something better. It's still the Jets have a lot of what ifs, but again, if it is a what if they stay healthy, well, they're Super Bowl or bust then.
Yeah, and the reason why I say Buffalo is because, yeah, they did lose Stephon Diggs, right? But now this forces them to kind of run the ball a little bit more. And until Josh Allen can get on the same page with those receivers. Out of every quarterback in this division, he's the only one I trust.
So
I'm just saying.
so Vegas has, as of right now, the Buffalo Bills at 10.5 wins, stretched to
They're the
the under.
favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but so they actually have the Jets and Buffalo even. So
Yeah, because
The Bills have 10.5 laid to the under, which is 10. Their win total's 10, and the Jets are 9.5 juice to the over, which is 10. They have them tied, and I don't even know what they have. I don't even know what they have Miami, but New England's like 4. Like yeah, they're not doing it. But Miami, I think Miami is like 9.
honestly, I think they take a step back
9.5 juice to the
this
over.
year.
So they have them at 10 too.
Because the problem I have with Miami, they can't beat good teams. And you saw that toward the end of last season. Because if I'm going to be honest with you, they should have beat Dallas. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Dallas should have beat them on Christmas Eve. You saw what happened when they go into Baltimore. Baltimore comes in and punches them in the mouth, right? And then, look, they could have won that game against Buffalo to decide the division, but Buffalo just turned on that pedigree when it mattered. What most ended up winning the division, and that's how Miami ended up in frigid Kansas City for that playoff game.
No. And I'm gonna give you a team right now that a lot of people are sleeping on. Don't sleep on Cleveland.
Yeah, but for Cleveland, it depends on can Deshaun Watson stay healthy.
I'm saying that. Well, again, another question mark. It's that offense is ridiculous, but then you also have Deshaun Watson. Oh, and I'll say this: the one thing about the Jets that you kind of didn't factor in is Zach Wilson's not the backup quarterback.
Man, ain't nobody care.
I'd rather listen. Tyrod Taylor being the backup quarterback gets you at least more wins than Zach Wilson did. They had 7 wins with Wilson as the backup quarterback. You're telling me Tyrod Taylor's not good for 3 of them? 3 more?
Ain't nobody care. Ain't nobody care. Mm-hmm.
Hey, you're not giving me the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you a team that's gonna be fucking terrible this year is gonna be the fucking Bears.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, and then I think the Lions are going to take a little bit of a step back this year
I can see that.
because they're going to be hunted and not hunters at this point. I mean, the Lions are coming off an NFC Championship game appearance. Whoever would have thought? The Detroit Lions were a game away from the Super Bowl. Because I think Green Bay is going to be really good this year. I personally could see Green Bay coming out the NFC.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. What's the odds? Green Bay is the second favorite at 2-1 as of now.
Who's the first? San Francisco?
No. To come out of to win the North, the Detroit Lions are there. What is Frisco's odds to win the West? It's probably like minus. Yeah, minus 215. You have a Arizona team that ain't doing shit. You have a Seattle team that's rebuilding, and a Rams team that doesn't have their Hall of Fame defensive tackle. Yeah, that's the ugh.
I think the Rams are going to kind of surprise some people next year. No, they don't have Aaron Donald anymore, but it's going to take a collective effort to replace him, and they have a lot of youth on that defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Hey, John, I think we're gonna push off Mania until Ryan's on with us.
That's fine because I was just looking at the clock too, and yeah, I do want to bring this home pretty
Yeah.
soon. So
Let.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna get out of here now, guys. I just wanted to come on and talk to y'all.
All right.
All right.
All right.
all right,
See
later,
ya.
later,
I'll
later,
talk
Chris.
to you. All right.
See you
All right.
later. All right. Last thing I want to talk about, and I'll talk about it real quick. Masters starts tomorrow. Notable people on the card and betting wise, Tiger Woods is 150 to 1. Which, you want to talk about a long shot? Great. I don't think that's going to happen. Tiger Woods has to have everything go right. And it's supposed to be raining. It's already raining in Atlanta, right?
Well, I don't know. That's why they supposedly postponed the game beforehand because they assumed it was going to rain. And I think I just checked the weather and they said yeah, it is raining in Atlanta. So
Which means humidity, Tiger's back, Tiger's legs. Yeah, that's not going to go well for him.
because the next Atlanta Met game is scheduled for 12:20 tomorrow. They assume they're going to have clear sailing by tomorrow.
Yeah. Guys that I would lay right now: Rory at 9 to 1. Tony Finau at 45 to 1. Siwoo Kim for a top 5, I would definitely play because he's 60 to 1 to win the whole thing. I don't think he's going to do that. Right. And also as top Korean. Which, yes, by the way, that is a bet on Caesar Sportsbook. You can bet the top Asian.
That just sounds fucked up.
It really is.
I'm sorry, just the top. Yeah, you saying top race, it just sounds fucked up.
I mean, you can bet top American, top English.
That's a bet that should be just thrown the hell out because that's just wrong on so many fucking levels.
Well, there's so many people that are in this.
I understand that, but you don't need to be discussing something like that. That's just something I'm sorry. I call bullshit on that one. That's the thing that shouldn't be happening. But that's just my opinion.
Let's see.
That's almost as bad as saying, "Oh, who's the top white guy in this sport?" You know.
Siwoo Kim.
You don't do that.
Siwoo Kim plus 150 for top 20. Definitely would take that.
Right.
I mean, I would always put together if I was gonna do a parlay, I would almost do a Rory top 5. Let me see what this actually would come out to. Rory top 5. Xander Schauffele top 10 with a Will Salvatore top 10, and then a Siwoo Kim top 20. Which parlay that to get. Oh, they not actually let me parlay that? That's bullshit. Alright, what if I did 5? Let's see something real quick. $20 gets you 60. That's terrible. That's not good. Ugh. I would not take that. That's not even worth the fucking money for a 4-day event.
Right.
Rory, I think Rory's going to win this and get his Tiger Slam. But
I mean, it's like We'll see. I mean, like I said, I really don't follow golf like you do.
I mean, this
You
is the
know.
first. It's the first Masters. It's the It's the fucking Masters. It's the first major of the year. It's one of the biggest. These are the ones, like they said, like where the casual fans will watch.
Right.
This is it. Like, this is the one where, like, right now they have an odds boost where it's like Sung Jing Im, Phil Mickelson, or Ricky Fowler will win the Masters at 45-1. You have, it's three men versus the field, but they're all kind of long shots.
Right.
Like, Sergio Garcia, Bubba Watson, and Fred Couples to make the cut at the Masters. Two of the guys are in the senior divisions. One guy and the other guy kind of just got out, or is just around. And 8-1 is not terrible.
Right.
Tommy Fleetwood, top European, 12. That's not bad.
The only names that you've mentioned that I know anything about is Tiger, Phil Mickelson. Those are the only names that actually ring a bell to me.
Yeah, like they have an odds boost at plus 180. Tiger Woods, Hideki Matsuyama, and Patrick Reed to make the cut. I mean, the cut is the top 50 guys out of 84. So you're telling me he just can't be in the bottom third? I think that's doable to get him into the weekend.
Right.
But honestly, I would almost stay away if you're going to bet on these, obviously bet within your means. If you are betting on Tiger, I would not be betting the house, be betting beer money. I would be betting beer money anyway, but I know a lot of people that would bet the fucking house on these things.
You see, that's what I say whenever, because I've gone on record, and I've even told you this. I've never really been a bettor. I've never been a gambler. I go to Atlantic City. I fuck with a few slot machines here and there, but I don't play the big tables. I don't bet big stuff like that. I just never saw I know there's some people out there like yourself that are very heavily into betting and stuff like that. I just never saw the point of it, but that's just me.
Well, when it comes to like betting, when it comes to the betting in certain sports, golf, I would say this. Like golf and racing and like NASCAR, there's no fucking handicap. It's, you bet your favorite guy, you see what the price is, and you hope they win.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, some people, oh, well, all right, well, you can handicap the games in the courses in certain ways. Is, all right, who's the best long driver? Who has the best irons? Who has the best putter? Fine. Other than that, that's it. Or who plays better in rain? Who plays better in dry? Like, that's it. You're not going to be really doing a deep dive into it. If you find your favorite guys, if they're there, if they're within a price that you like, you bet them.
Yeah. No, I get where you're coming from. It's
Now,
just,
when it comes to something like football, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you can do that you can work around it.
well, it's like I've heard people saying, like I said, you're a better, so you bet with your brain, not bet with your heart.
Yeah, bet with your brain, not with your dick. Bet with the top head, not your bottom head.
Oh, that's when you're going into a singles bar. Because the little head's always going to win out there.
Listen. You'd be surprised how many people get very cockstrong when it comes to betting when they're down.
Yeah, because they're looking for that quick fix. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for that easy win.
Yep. And there's no such thing.
Oh, you see, like I said, this is why, like I said, I've never been a gambler. and stuff like that. And people used to give me shit because they're like, as much as the women are beautiful in some of these places, I never believed in strip clubs either, because you're giving all these money to these chicks. They're going to show you a little something, but it's not like you're going to get it. You're going to get anything out of it unless you've got a girl at home that you're going to be like, okay, I've had enough. Let's have some fun. But if you're single, guess what? You're going home and you're playing five knuckle shuffle with yourself. But
telling yourself you can't see me.
you're like somebody. Well, I'm not going to say it on the air, but
Little Jimmy.
Somebody that met their favorite person over the weekend. But anyway, um, but no, it's like I never saw the purpose of those, and my friends used to give me shit about it because I had friends before I met you that were big time gamblers, and they're like, "Well, why don't you put a bet on this, 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 this?" And I go, "I don't see the point. This is why I don't play the lottery. This is why I don't like do scratch offs, because all you're doing is basically throwing your money away." And that's just that's the way I feel. I mean, some people, they invest in it. You're heavily invested in it. That's, I give you props for that.
But there's, like
But
I
you
said,
know how to, but you know how to do it the right way.
but there's also certain sports that I do. Like, honest to God, if I lose track of certain things, like the NBA, I have lost complete track of the NBA. Guess what? I ain't betting no fucking NBA until at least, if anything, the playoffs. And even then, I'm not betting on the game. I'm betting on stats.
But it's like I said, you're betting with your brain, not your heart.
Yeah, well, I also understand, like, my bread and butter is made from college football.
Right.
That is where my money is made. That's where I can turn and look at certain things, because I also go and do research on the colleges that no one wants to. The MAC, the Mountain West, like not the D2 schools, but the FCS schools if they're around. Like, oh, well, what is fucking Iowa doing? Like, why are they in this predicament? Like, I don't know who the fuck some of these guys are, but I also know what lines should be what. That's a math thing.
Right. Well, that's just a right way to go about it.
Yeah.
It's like I've seen people that like, oh, I'm going to bet on so and so because I don't know what movie I saw it. I don't know what movie I saw this line, but maybe you know the line. He goes, I always bet on the horse that does his business before the race.
Yeah, I forget the line, but I know so many people that fucking do that too.
That they're like, because he's lighter and he feels better. I don't know, but you know that you've heard the line before.
Yeah. Dude, you know how many people I know that literally when they used to bet on like fucking greyhounds or shit like that, they would literally go to the track to see if whichever one would take a shit or take a piss and go bet on that one? Same thing.
Yeah, but here's the question. How many of those animals actually friggin' won?
That's a great question. I don't have the odds. I don't have that. But like,
but you know what I'm talking about, because you said you've known people that have done that.
Yeah. I've seen the good, I've seen the bad. I've seen the good in betting because I've lived it. I've seen the bad because I've seen other people turn around and be like screaming that they've lost all their fucking money. I've literally I was behind a guy when I was making my bet that a guy legitly dropped about $25,000 on like 4 bets.
See, that to me, that's just fucking asinine.
But that's what I mean. I'm like, a total of 25 grand. I looked at him and I just go, charity? Would you like to give to a charity, good sir?
You said this to the guy?
Oh yeah, I said it to the guy as a joke. Because you're dropping 25 grand. I'm like, you got all this money. You sure you don't want to just give it away?
I'll take it.
Yeah, right? I'll find something good to do with it. Good to use.
But it's like I just never, like I said, I was never a gambler and stuff like that. Like I said, when it goes back to the strip club, I had a friend. He's no longer with us. His name's Charles Seclair. He's the guy I went to high school with. He was one of my best friends in high school. But Charlie would go into a strip club, and I've gone to a couple of times with him, and he would literally throw $400 to $500 on these chicks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, between lap dances and just making it rain. You know, and I'm like, and I asked him after one of these times, I'm like, Charlie, what do you get out of it? And he goes, oh, well, maybe if I throw enough money, will want to hook up with me after their set. And I honestly got to ask him. I said, Charlie, how many years have you and I been doing stuff like this? He goes, about 3 or 4. And you know how many times he said he hooked up with chicks? Once. One time. And I remember that time the chick was also drunk off her ass.
I was gonna say, what was it coming out? What was it coming out of Delilah's?
No, it was coming out of RJ's.
Oh.
Now, for those listening, RJ's was Ronnie. Do you want to describe RJ's in one word to people listening?
Meth.
Huh?
Meth.
You're talking about women that were 45 to 50 years old, scars, and they look like they were the term MILFs, but
Used, abused,
not so much. Used, abused, and put away wet.
Yeah.
But like I said, he hooked up with a dancer from RJ's. The reason I know is because we drove in separate cars, and I saw the two of them hook it up in his old Firebird. Because we were parked next to it. I saw way too much more than I wanted.
Thought you were about to tell me that I thought I was waiting for you to tell me you went to Torpedoes.
Nah. But the whole point I'm trying to make, the whole point of what I was trying to make is throwing that much money at gambling, strippers, whatever the situation it would be. Some guys bet with the wrong part of their body.
Yeah.
They don't bet with their heart. They bet with their gut. And sometimes bet with your gut doesn't always work.
No,
bet smart.
Well, the thing is, and I'll do this more when we start getting into the year, because I'm going to start probably a little bit earlier this year for college football, because I'm going to start going into the stuff like the deeper schools that I go into. Mm-hmm. I'm going to explain what these teams are doing well. Yeah, it's easier said than done, but the thing is, though, is if you have a gut feeling and you think, hey, I think this is the right spot, then throw a couple bucks down on the money line or whatever you feel like. But don't be like, oh, well, I need this, and this to break. Okay, well, how much you throw down? $50? Well, if you have 5 reasons to give yourself what you need to happen to break, maybe that bet's not a good idea.
True.
So, I'll give a great example, and then we'll close this out.
Okay.
Remember when Auburn, at the beginning of last year, towards the end of last year, was facing New Mexico State?
I guess I'm not. I'm not. I remember you discussing it, but I don't remember.
I was all over New Mexico State all year.
Okay.
And I flat out said that New Mexico State will beat Auburn.
Okay.
And I remember Christian going, "You're nuts. Like, that's not going to happen." I go, "No, it's going to happen because so-and-so, Diego is a better quarterback than them, and Auburn's not going to give a shit. It's the end of the year. They're already out of every contention. They're already in a set bowl game. They're not going to care about this game." What happens? New Mexico State comes in, wins by 3 touchdowns. Guess what? It was 5-1 on the money line. I dropped a $10 bet, won $50 on it because I knew from the beginning that um, Auburn was not gonna give a shit, and boy was I right.
But you see, that just proves my point. You're betting with your brain. You're betting not just
I'm also
betting for
putting
the sake of
I'm
betting.
also putting hours and hours of research in.
This is what of course, this is what I'm trying to tell you. You're betting the smart way. You're not just betting for the sake of betting.
Like right now, I've been doing some stuff on the draft because you can bet on the draft too. You can bet on the NFL draft on what player goes where. That you think, that you predict. Who's the first quarterback that goes? Well, it's kind of easy. It's Caleb Williams. That's already kind of been set in stone. Caleb's going to be the first. He's minus.
In other words, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it literally. You ready for this? It's minus 10,000.
Jesus Christ! Even I know that's big.
Here's a way to describe it for anyone that doesn't understand. Minus 10,000 means you have to put up $10,000 to win 100.
It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah. Then you can literally bet on the first top 7. You could bet on the top 7 picks.
Really?
Right. Yeah. Then you can also bet on what team like right now the Jets. I'll go to the Jets. New York Jets first draft position. Offensive lineman and tight end are tied at plus 135. Then a wide receiver at 2.5 to 1.
Okay.
But guess what? I think they're going to get Brock Bowers. But if I split it, I'm going to win no matter what because they're not going to get a wide receiver in the first round. They're either going to get a offensive lineman or a tight end.
They're not going to go for a quarterback in the first round again?
No. Not, like I said, they have Rodgers. So I think, what's Brock Bowers? Over. See, I love that. Brock Bowers, over, under, you can bet on what, so Brock Bowers is over, under 11.5. Will he be drafted before or after 12? And the under is plus 120, which means if you bet $100, you get 120 back.
Right.
Well, my position is I think the Jets are going to get him. The Jets pick at 10. Okay. Which means I would take the under.
All right.
But that's also where the risk is would he go 10 or are they going to go for, or the Jets going to go for an offensive lineman? And I'll start now we're within 2 weeks. So now we're going to start hearing more stuff about the draft, and more of this stuff will become known.
Right.
Yeah. But we'll talk more about the draft next week because it's draft season, so we'll be getting some more information and we'll figure it out. And we'll talk more about the betting side of it because it's very interesting. It is. It is a interesting concept. It's not just about betting money. It's about finding the stories. It's about doing the research. It's not just putting your money down and praying to fucking God, praying to the spaghetti monster in the sky. It's literally, can you find that edge? Sports betting is one of the few things you could find an edge for.
Right.
But the question is, you know this, which means I know this, which means Joe Schmo in Idaho knows this. If this all gets bet, Vegas then knows it, and they fuck with the numbers.
But you see, this is why, it's like I've never, like I said, I've never really been a better guy. I've never have been because I just don't see the point. But like I said, that's me.
Right.
That's me. It's like, because what's the point of throwing money after something that may or may not produce.
But that's the
I
thing
mean,
too. I don't understand the people that bet, say, over $100 a game. I bet
oh,
$5 just because if I'm gonna watch it, I want a little bit of excitement in it. Five
now,
bucks is $5.
I mean, I know we're closing on to. This will be the final point, and then we'll
Yeah.
call it night because it's getting late.
Yep.
But I've known guys. Like I said, I've known people that have bet, and I've known people with the whole strip club, but I've known both things. I had a friend that somebody I went to high school with. I'll just say his first name Dave, but I'll leave it at that. He and I we met up in Atlantic City. I was down there with family. I just happened to run into him, and me and him walked off together, and he went to the high roller section of Atlantic City. You know, with the big tables.
Yep.
And I forget, what was it, roulette or craps? I forget what it was. And right off the bat, like I said, it was either or. I don't remember. The first thing he does is he goes in his pocket and whips out $1,000 and puts it down on the very first thing of whatever game it was. Like I said, this is going back 35 years,
Right.
so I can't remember exactly what it was. And he lost. And I said to him, dude, you just lost $1,000. And he goes, I'm like, in 1991 or whatever the year it was, $1,000 was a lot more than $1,000 is nowadays.
Yeah.
But I said to myself, like, and he goes, well, you're going to bet? And I go, I'm going to go over to the nickel slots. He goes, why'd you play the big stuff? I'm like, because I'm not going to lose my fucking money, and there's no point in it. And I still talk to him to this day on Facebook and stuff. He still goes to Atlantic City and bets big. I'm like, dude, you got a family now. You can't keep betting like you did when you were 21, 22 years old. He's like, I enjoy it. I'm like, whatever. But
well, the question
in today's market, I just don't see it.
Like I said, if he has the money to blow, good on him. But don't bet above your head. Don't bet above your means.
But like I said, to me, it just seems stupid. I'm not knocking people who bet, but my personal taste, I think it's dumb.
No,
and I've told you, and I've even joked with you about that. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go put $50 or something on a sure thing type of thing.
Yeah,
but to me, you never bet on sure things. I've never heard you say, oh, I'm gonna bet $100 or $200 on something.
No, I never,
because I know your wife would kill you.
Well, no, because I've learned there is no such thing as a sure thing when it comes to gambling. Because one wrong move, someone gets hurt. There goes your fucking money.
Right.
I've never learned the hard way, but I've learned just in general that there's no such thing as a sure thing. I've seen the good side of gambling and I've seen the bad side. I've walked through Atlantic City and I've seen people screaming that they've lost all their fucking money. I've stood behind guys that have bet $25,000 on a sporting event. And at the same time, too, I've heard those same type of guys in the bar while watching the game at the sports book screaming that they lost all their money.
Right.
It doesn't mean gambling's a bad thing, but if you don't know what you're doing, you find yourself in a hole, aka like the interpreter for Shohei Ohtani.
But yeah, this is exactly why I am never going to bet. I am never going to put any money down at just this weekend. What was it? This Thursday or Friday? I gave the Powerball was what, 1.3 billion or something?
Yeah.
Or Mega, or one of them was that. You know how much money I spent on a ticket?
Nothing.
$2.
$2. Yeah, be in it to win it.
One line, $2. That's it. I didn't win, but guess what? I didn't blow a tremendous amount of money.
No, I know people that I've seen people drop $20, $30. I've seen people go into a pool where they have $500 for fucking tickets.
Yeah, and I mean the same thing goes for when with the whole boxes in the Super Bowl thing. My girlfriend does that. Her father's done that. I think you've done that.
Yeah.
Buy a box and stuff like that. That's just something I know. They're like, oh, it's like $20 a box or $15 a box or whatever the situation was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you get that 9 out of 10 times nobody wins those boxes. Nobody gets those boxes right off the top.
No, it's 100. It's literally 100 to 1.
Exactly. And and that's one thing I've never done with people who do the things that we've been discussing. I don't fault them. I don't criticize them. I don't preach to them saying you should do it. It's your money, your time. Do with it what you want. You're not going to hear me say, don't do that. That's stupid. Like my friend who used to drop money on the strippers.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and tell him he's going to blow his $300, $400, $500, $600 on fucking strippers. It's his money. He wants to do it. Let him.
Yeah, if he wants
He
to
paid
blow
for it.
he wants to blow his wad. Let him blow his wad.
I'm having flashbacks to what that woman looked like, and
all right. Well, with that being
I've had
said,
enough issues this week. I don't need to think of that again.
And we'll go into it too, because in 2 weeks too, we get into the Kentucky Derby also. So we'll talk
and
more.
We'll talk Mania too when Ryan comes back.
Yes, we will. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the show. If you like what you heard, please follow us on our social media accounts under the Nerdport Network. Follow us individually at F and Ronnie.
At the Zombie Master.
Follow us. Just join myself back here.
Follow Christian at Daily Blitz _61.
Join myself back here tomorrow as myself and Chris will bullshit. Maybe he and I will talk some Mania, but probably not a lot because I probably won't get a word in edgewise.
No comment.
But with that being said, if you like what you heard, tell your friends. But if you didn't like what you hear, tell your enemies. But until then, always remind them 3 things. 1, Bobby Bonilla's getting paid. 2, Shohei Ohtani's getting paid. And 3, there is always a teachable moment. And if you don't believe me, well, hell, that's just a fact of life. Yeah.
Yeah.